1,000 strong on hand to watch number 3 Alabama take on 16th ranked Ole Miss. The weather cool and cloudy, and a light mist has been falling off and on all afternoon. 57th meeting between Bama and the Rebels. The Crimson Tide winning 5 in a row the last 5, or 3 by an average of under 4 points a ball game. And this game and all SEC college football games brought to you in crystal clear CBS high definition. The head coach of Alabama in his 3rd season, Nick Saban, won a national championship with LSU back in 2003. He's been a head coach at Toledo, Michigan State, with the Tigers, and now Alabama. Had a short stop with the Miami Dolphins of the National Football League for 2 seasons. His counterpart today, Houston Nutt, in his 2nd year after spending 10 seasons with the Razorbacks of Arkansas.
Kicking off for Ole Miss, number 96.
Alabama won the toss and chose to receive. Javier Arenas, so dangerous, alongside Terry Grant. And Andrew Ritter, number 96, set to kick it away for Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss, Craig, remembers the way Javier Arenas started the game out last week against Kentucky. A 60-yard return to open the game and put his team in position to get an early score and take control of that football game.
Arenas averages nearly 30 yards a return, settles underneath at the 6-yard line. We're underway in Oxford. Arenas makes a little high step at the 20 and is swarmed down at the 25-yard line. So the quarterback for Alabama, Greg McElroy, and this former Texas high school quarterback rarely makes mistakes. You see his numbers this season, 9 touchdowns and just 1 interception. His pass rating ranks 6th in all of college football. Alabama coming off the win over Kentucky last week, 38-20. They are a balanced team offensively, Steve. 462 yards a game, 228 on the ground, 234 through the air. And the first play, shotgun, McElroy sets and throws. That ball is dropped at the 27-yard line. Julio Jones, the intended receiver. Let's check out our starting lineups presented by Chick-fil-A. And up front on that offensive line, Carpenter, Johnson, Vlahos, Jones, and Davis. They've allowed just 5 sacks this season. The backfield solid. Mark Ingram, keep your eye on number 22, averages nearly 6 yards a carry. Second down from the 25-yard line. First man through, Ingram slips and slides to the 29. Ingram nearly 6 yards a carry. Defensively for Ole Miss, up front Tillman and Lockett anchor the 2 defensive ends. The linebacker Patrick Trahan collected 10 tackles in last week's victory at Vanderbilt. And Brown and Lewis, the 2 safeties, anchor the secondary. Well, there is noise in the house. Over 60,000. Shotgun formation for Alabama. 3rd down and long. Call it 6. McElroy, good protection. Takes a pop. Drops it out to Ingram. Knocked down at the 31-yard line. Short of the first down. And Mississippi, so tough themselves defensively, Steve. Sometimes overlooked because of Alabama's stature. But my goodness, number 4 in the SEC against the run. They allowed just 274 yards a ball game.
And they only give up about 7.25 points a game on average. This is the defense that is very underrated, very overlooked, and they showed up ready to play that first series. They gave up the short pass there on 3rd down, came up, made the great open field tackle, put Alabama in a punting situation right away.
P.J. Fitzgerald inside his own 20-yard line. High snap, handles it well. The kick is away and a beauty. Green underneath, he's going to take it at the 27. Finds the seam, 40, 45, and near midfield is Green. Ole Miss will have fine field position. Corey Reamer with the special teams tackle. A 42-yard punt and a 23-yard return. The quarterback for Ole Miss, Jevon Sneed, owns one of the strongest arms in college football, and Steve cannot afford to throw an interception against this Alabama defense.
Well, Craig, when you look at what he's done this year, it's not as impressive maybe as people would have expected coming into this season. His numbers aren't where they need to be. He had 3 interceptions last week against Vanderbilt, and what's come into question is his decision making and his ability, or his confidence in his ability to make the throws up the field. And when you look at the film, it does show up on film. There's no doubt about it. But Jevin came into this game. He knows what he has to do to play against Alabama right now. He has to make good decisions all game long.
Of the 25 and 40-second play clock, those times will be kept on the field by the back judge.
So a little added pressure for this officiating crew today, led by the referee, Tom Ritter. And Jevin Sneed getting those instructions as we speak. Sneed's journey to Ole Miss, interesting. Transferred out of Texas, set out the 2007 season. Did play as a true freshman back in 06, but a guy named Colt McCoy came on the scene. Florida was a possibility, but there was a man named Tebow. And now Sneed leads Ole Miss. First down from the 48. And Sneed, first play from scrimmage, shotgun. Throws, near side, a ball grabbed by McCluster. So dangerous, gets back maybe a yard to the 49-yard line. And again, our starting lineup's presented by Chick-fil-A as we look at the Ole Miss offense. And that offensive line protecting Sneed is really beginning to blend. Right tackle John Jerry, a preseason All-American. Backs and receivers, none better. You just saw him, Dexter McCluster. He's a combo back with great speed and terrific hands. For a gain of 1. Ball is on the turf, picked up. Let's check the Bama defense. Oh, and it's a big front line. Average man goes 6'5", 315. Linebackers, they'll knock you in the mouth. Very physical. Rolando McClain leads the Tide with 35 tackles. And Javier Arenas everywhere. He's the star in the secondary. He will come from the corner and blitz and blitz and blitz. A loss of 1, third down and 10. Backs are split, shotgun as Sneed drops back. There's the blitz across the middle. Intercepted at the 35-yard line. Justin Woodle, the free safety, with his second interception of the season. And Steve, there's the mistake we talked about by Sneed.
No doubt, Craig. You had Robbie Green, the safety sophomore, coming right up the middle. Number 23, you see him come in there untouched. This is what Alabama does so well. They come out, make you make mistakes, make you make quick decisions. We'll see if Ole Miss can rebound.
If you come to Ole Miss at Oxford, you got to go to the Grove. Alabama 3 and out on their first offensive series. We've seen an interception on the first set of downs by Jevin Sneed, his 6th of the year. And now McElroy back at work under center for Bama. 3 wide receiver set. Handoff, Ingram, stop, driven back, lost a yard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ole Miss Rebels in on the stop.
By number 9, Alan Walker of the Rebels.
Alan Walker gets credit for the initial hit. Number 9, the Sam or strong side linebacker.
Second and 10.
Olive Branch, Mississippi is home, a 2-year letterman. Shotgun, McElroy on second down and 10. Quick drop, wants to tuck and run, and there's nothing there. Driven back at the 30, a loss of 3, and that brings up third down and long.
It couldn't be starting out better for this Ole Miss defense. Look at it, you see a little bit of indecision in Greg McElroy, doesn't know what to do, and then, sure enough, the pressure gets to him, and boy, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of red shirts eager to get a piece of Greg McElroy on that one. You're going to see, you know, you had really nothing up the field, nowhere for McElroy to go. He wanted to tuck inside, but Mark Ingram missed his block on the outside, and that allowed Greg Hardy to get in there and make the first hit, and about 4 or 5 more guys, 4 or 5 more of his mates coming to help out.
First 2 games, 3 sacks for Ole Miss's D. Last 2, 8. They throw to Jones, who's had a quiet season thus far and pushes his way to the 42-yard line. And Steve, how about going above the line?
Well, Alabama's offense, as you said, Greg, they are so balanced. They cannot lose that balance against this Ole Miss team. They want to run it, they want to throw it, they want to keep them off guard. But Ole Miss, the big challenge, I think, to keep Alabama uncomfortable is to show up on first down, swarm to the football like they've done so far today, like they've done in the past. If they can show up and make Alabama in these second and third and long situations, they'll be in control of this game.
Fitzgerald, trick play, throws on fourth down and move the chains to the 49-yard line. Trickery coming from Nick Saban.
Well, you got to give Nick Saban credit. Marquise Mays, number 4, is right here, and he's going to just simply settle inside and turn around and look for the football. And what a great job by P.J. Fitzgerald, the punter, to take advantage of the opportunity. Not a very difficult throw. A very good, risky call by Nick Saban. It was the right situation to do it early in the game, trying to establish momentum. The ball was out near midfield, so why not take a chance? It was only 4th and about 2 yards. You expect trickery out of Houston Nutt.
Indeed.
But Nick Saban right there giving him a little bit of dose of his own medicine. Here we go. Greg McElroy out of the backfield.
Fresh downs, 1st and 10 from the 49, and breaking through is Ingram. Powerful, speed, 5'10", 212-pound sophomore out of Flint, Michigan. Last week against Kentucky, carried the load of work. 22 carries, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Man, this is a guy that scored. He's been in Alabama for a total of 19 games. He scored at least 1 touchdown in 14 of those games. He finds a way. He's got a nose for getting that ball to the end zone. And, man, he can catch it, he can run it, he can do it all.
9 touchdowns on the season, 6 on the ground, 3 receiving, and he averages nearly 100 yards per game. Shotgun, handoff, delay, Ingram piled and stacked up. He'll work his way inside the 45. They'll mark him at the 44-yard line.
But this is exactly what Alabama wants. They want to stay in these 3rd and short situations so they can do what they do best, kind of pound it out, wear out the opposing defense. And by the time you get into the 3rd and 4th quarter, they feel like they've got the edge because that's their style of game, physical up front, getting after people.
You saw Bama's offense. They score 40 points a ball game, ranked 10th in college football. 7th play of this drive, 8 minutes to play in the quarter, 3rd down and 3. McElroy, quick drop, that ball is batted down and out of bounds, and that brings up 4th down. Julio Jones, the intended receiver, and Cassius Vaughn was able to get his hand up and tip that ball away.
Yeah, I think Cassius Vaughn was out there on the outside defending the pass. It might have actually gotten deflected by somebody on the way there. It looked like it did change direction for sure in the air. Greg McElroy knew where he wanted to go with the football. And unfortunately, Nick Saban for Alabama, they used the trickery on their last punt and nothing to show for it.
4th down. Fitzgerald tries to boot this ball into the corner. Green lets it go by, and it bounds into the end zone. Touchback, 20-yard line for Ole Miss. And a 44-yard kick by P.J. Fitzgerald. We've seen a little trickery. We've seen a pick. We've seen defense here in Oxford. Scoreless on CBS. (24-20), 27-24, 26-23 overtime, and back in 05 it was 13-10.
You know, if you go by the odds, you got to expect that at some point the odds are going to favor that Ole Miss is going to come away with one of these wins. And I think Ole Miss believes this today is their best opportunity with everything at stake, the atmosphere here, both these teams fighting for the SEC West. We'll see what happens.
Driven back. McClain physical. McClain 12 tackles last week against Kentucky. Makes a stop here in the 1st quarter. And let's go above the line, Steve Erline.
Well, Greg, the Ole Miss offense, they've got to trust themselves today. Don't try and get too carried away. Try and make things happen too quickly. Understand you're pretty darn good. Just do what you do best. But Alabama, their goal is to make the Rebels yell. Cause some frustration like they did in that 1st series. Getting hits on Jevin Sneed. Get these guys lacking the confidence they need to be successful all day.
Coming up on 7 minutes to play in the quarter. Ball a little overthrown. Sneed a little shaky here to start this ball game. You know, talking to Jevin Sneed on Thursday, Steve, you know, he understood the importance of this game, and so did their offensive coordinator, Ken Austin. They wanted to try to get him in rhythm early, and so far that has not occurred.
Well, Ken Austin came out right and just said, he said, when Jevin Snead comes out hot. When he comes out early and often doing well, making the right decisions, he can truly control a football game. Well, that wasn't the start they wanted that last drive. It was not a bad decision by Jevin Snead. I think the pressure just forced him into a bad throw.
1 of 3 thus far, 1 yard and an interception. 3 wide receivers top of your screen for Ole Miss on 3rd down and 10. Snead feels pressure. And that pressure forced him to throw that ball out in front of Brandon Bolden. Eric Anders, the Jack linebacker, putting the heat on Jevin Snead.
And this is exactly playing into Alabama's hands right now. Eric Anders, you're going to see right here on the right side of your screen, he's coming in. Watch him. He steps up the field and comes underneath, and just total confusion on the left side. Reed Neely, the left guard, should have seen that picking off and come back and helped out, but could not get a piece of him. This is what Alabama does best. They cause confusion. They come at you from all angles.
Campbell gets the bounce, and Arenas is hit below the knees at the 33-yard line. Great special teams coverage. 45-yard punt. -1 on the return. We're coming back next. And warned by his teammates. A lot of memories that were shared during our talks on Thursday and Friday. Landshark. And they wear his number on the back of their helmets today in his honor. Number 47, Tony Fine. Alabama 10 plays, 28 yards. Ole Miss has not gained a yard, Steve, on 6 offensive plays. Shotgun, McElroy sets up and throws, arches it up and in. He loves the tight end. Colin Peak, who played at Georgia Tech, grabs his 15th catch of the year.
Great route by Colin Peak. You're to see right here, he's going to go up the field and out to the outside. There's nobody outside of him on the pass route, so he's got all that field to work with. And Greg McElroy, he may not have the strongest arm in the world, but he makes the right decisions, and he throws a very catchable ball. And I'll tell you, he spreads the football around. 14 different players in Alabama have caught the ball from Greg McElroy this year. That is hard to defend when you're throwing it to that many people.
I don't think you were that kind yourself in college or the pros. As McElroy looks for more. Up top, sideline, little push off. I don't see a flag. It's incomplete. And Jones, the intended receiver, and a good battle with Cassius Vaughn, number 24 in the right corner.
Well, the Alabama sideline thinks there was a little too much contact going on. I would have to agree a little bit. In the NFL, that would be called illegal contact right there. And definitely, I think that could have been a PI. Cassius Vaughn did not make a play on the football. He made contact before the ball got there. Julio Jones, man, this is a big, talented man. I was down there on the sideline before the game, and I was in awe watching this guy run up and down the field, pulling the ball, and he can do it all, man.
He's got some great foot speed, but he's had some knee problems, unable to plant. And speaking of plant, Ingram is knocked back, and what a pop by Kendrick Lewis, the free safety.
What a hit by Kendrick Lewis. Let's hear it.
You can't draw it up.
No, you cannot draw it up. No way. That was the perfect call by Tyrone Nix, the defensive coordinator for the Ole Miss Rebels. He knew something. He had it figured out perfectly. Kendrick Lewis timed it up. And, man, what a great form tackle that was.
Yeah, Lewis, one of the defensive team captains for Ole Miss. Bama, by the way, 0 for 3 here in this quarter on 3rd down. McElroy from the shotgun. Little pitch and catch to the flat, and another stick driven down is Green on Ingram. Ingram versatile, moved the flags. Bama first down at the 40-yard line of Ole Miss.
And Craig, this is one of the things that really concerned Tyrone Nix. He said Greg McElroy, he is so smart. He studies it. He knows his offense. He knows where his receivers are. And in 3rd and long situations like that right there, he is not afraid to dump the ball down to one of his running backs and let them run the ball and make a few guys miss tackles and pick up the 3rd down.
McElroy shows that emotion. Studied John Parker Wilson. And what a study he was. Handoff. There's a broken tackle by Ingram. And pulls his way past the 30 down to the 25-yard line. And for the first time today, let's go back to New York for an update. Here's Tim Brando.
All right, Craig, a wild one between Kentucky and South Carolina. Randall Cobb is in the Wildcat to make it a 2-point game, and then Will Fiddler in the game for the injured Mike Hartline as his pass batted down. Spurrier's team is up to 5-1 in Columbia. Back to Craig and Steve Berline.
All right, thank you, Tim. A pickup of 15. One of the biggest fears for Ole Miss, especially when you talk with Mark Ingram, you have got to wrap him up. They are so good after the initial hit on picking up extra yards.
He is strong, and those legs are always moving.
Low snap, play action as McElroy pedals back. Pressure. That ball hit from behind, falls incomplete. But Ole Miss continues to put pressure on number 12, Emmanuel Stevens, number 95.
You're going to see right there Emmanuel Stevens going right around James Carpenter. Not a real good job by James Carpenter, the left tackle for Alabama. It's just a straight speed rush from the outside, and you can see I think James Carpenter did not realize exactly where Greg McElroy was, and tackles have to have a good feel where that quarterback is setting up. If they don't know exactly where he is, they're going to have a lot of problems because they're going to try and run the defensive end by him. But right there, obviously, Emmanuel Stevens had the angle and made the play.
Seventh play of this drive coming up. McElroy talking to his tailback on second down. Hand off Trent Richardson, the fine freshman, lowers his pads and drives past the 20-yard line up to around the 17. Marshae Green making the initial hit. Well, Monday, Dave's All New with Gary Shandling, plus music from Tim McGraw, followed by The Late Show with Craig Ferguson. It's all new. Dave Letterman on CBS.
It seems as though Alabama has settled into a little groove here. You can see right there on 2nd and 10, they're not a team that's going to panic and try and make a play up the field. They know the defense is probably going to be playing soft for pass. They'll power it right up in there and make 7 or 8 yards to get in the 3rd and short situation again.
They're down at 2. McElroy wants to pass, has time, up top he goes. That ball is caught and bounds. Yes! First down at the 3-yard line, and again for the second time. Colin Peak, 6'6". What a target at tight end.
He has really established himself as a great player. Last week, 6 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. Pretty much the same route as last time. In fact, exactly the same play. They found something. They liked that matchup on the outside, obviously. But I'll tell you, the key to that play was the blitz pickup by freshman running back Trent Richardson. Right there, look at that. Stepping up and making the play. That allowed Greg McElroy to step up and make that throw.
First and goal after the 14-yard pickup. McElroy runs to his right, looks at the end zone, and smartly throws it away. You know, McElroy is a great study. I mentioned he studied John Parker Wilson, the quarterback formerly of Alabama. He told us an interesting point, Steve. He considers, well, this is his 46th game in a Bama uniform. He's prepared. Now listen, he's prepared to be a starter in each and every one.
It's amazing, and I learned something by talking to this kid the other day. When he said that, I mean, he said he considered himself to be playing from the sidelines in each one of those games. And I'll tell you what, it has appeared to pay off big time for this kid.
Yeah, his biggest fear, he told us, to be unprepared. Richardson, the ball carrier, flags her down at the 3-yard line. We'll get the call from Tom Ritter. The false start the call, and those are the type of calls that will turn Nick Saban hair a little grayer.
No doubt about it.
And they're going to reset the game clock back from 2:57 to 3:01, so they'll add 4 seconds to the game clock. March it back 5, second down and goal at the 8-yard line.
Now here's the matchup right down here. You got big Julio Jones. There are not many defensive backs that can cover him one-on-one. He's so big and strong. Marshae Green has got the coverage on him right here.
Richardson alone back with a timing pass up top. Oh, in and out of the hands, incomplete. Well, you made the call. Julio Jones, so tough to defend one-on-one, and Jones had it, in and out, and dropped it.
You know, Craig, I don't think this is a good throw by Greg McElroy, and I'll tell you why. Look how much bigger Julio Jones is than Marche Green. Put that ball up in the air right there. Don't lead him out of bounds. Put it up, make it a jump ball like in basketball. Let that big monster go up and grab that football over the top of anybody you want to put out there. You don't get that coverage in the right situation at the right time very often. You've got to give your man a chance to make that play.
McElroy 5 of 11 for 54 yards. Third down and goal, 8-yard line. Lone back, Richardson. Play action. There's that timely pass up top. Tight end had it. And out of his hands is Colin Peak. They go near side on one throw to Jones. They come back to the tight end on the far side to Peak.
And Colin Peak is 6'6", big boy also. And Greg McElroy right there did a great job giving his tight end a chance to go up and make that catch. Again, an obvious height advantage. Put the ball up in the air, let him go up and get it. But I think Colin Peak got his feet a little bit tangled up before he jumped, and it just threw him off a little bit. He's still got to make that play.
25-yard field goal to tip by Lee Tiffin. And it's through the uprights. Tiffin now 10 of 12 this season from 25. Alabama gets 3 on the drive. We're coming back to Oxford next on CBS. Strikes first. 25-yard field goal by Tiffin. 12 plays, 58 yards, just over 4 minutes off the clock.
And Ole Miss has got to feel pretty good about what they did down there, holding to a field goal. This is an Ole Miss defense that is very highly ranked in the red zone. No matter any way you look at it, they make people work to score touchdowns. Only 4 teams have scored touchdowns in the red zone out of 15 opportunities down there. That's a very good percentage of only 27% touchdowns. They came through and made it even better on that last goal line stand there.
And see that field goal, the first quarter points allowed since the Cotton Bowl win against Texas Tech. Jesse Grandy, number 10, stumbles, finds a hole to the 44-yard line. Let's send you to New York for the John Hancock. All right, Timmy, here we're 3-0, Alabama. 2:39 to play, opening quarter. And Jevin Sneed, Steve, got to settle down. Confidence is one thing he needs. They're going to go to the ground with Bolden. Finds a seam, turns the corner, takes a pop, and out of bounds at the 48-yard line. Woodle, the free safety with the tackle. Watch fantasy football today to get the last-minute news and analysis. You need to set your fantasy league lineup every Sunday at 11 Eastern, only on CBSSports.com.
Well, Craig, one of the biggest issues facing Ole Miss, we talked about Jevin Sneed has to get going, but look at the number of plays Ole Miss has had. They've only had 7 total plays so far. That was the 7th play. So Jevin Sneed has not really had a chance to get into this offense yet.
In motion goes Markeith Summers. After a pickup of 8, it's second down and 2 and nothing doing. Bama stands up. Corey Reamer led the charge.
Number 34, Brandon Bolden.
There was absolutely nothing.
Well, make no mistake about it. This Alabama defense is good across the board. You see right there, number 13, Corey Reamer stepping up. But Kent Austin, the offensive coordinator for Alabama, or for Ole Miss, told us that they've got to stay out of these 3rd and long situations. This is the best they've had, 3rd and 6. But the previous 2 series they had the ball, they were 3rd and 10, and you're playing right into Alabama's strength right there. If you do that, they've got to get yards on 1st and 2nd down.
2 wide receivers, top of your screen, shotgun to Sneed. It'll flip out. Oh, you got to catch it. Bolden right on his hands, incomplete. That was 1st down. Easy money. That brings up 4th down for Ole Miss.
Craig, I think both players are at fault on this one. I think Jevin Sneed had the easy throw. He put it out a little bit too far in front of Bolden, but Bolden right there, when he looked back, he slowed down. But that's the kind of throw, though, that a quarterback, when he sees his receiver that wide open in the flat, he's got to put that ball right on him. Don't stick it out in front of him. That's a running back, not a wide receiver. Running backs aren't used to stretching out for the football quite as much as receivers are. Stick it right on his pads, let him catch it, turn it up, and make that easy 1st down.
Campbell back to punt. His first boot went 46 yards. Arenas awaits. Good hang time. Waves for the fair catch. And takes it at the 18-yard line. Alabama back on offense with the 3-0 lead. The field goal by Clifton from 25 yards out.
And Craig, when we were talking to Houston Nutt the other day on Thursday, he told us the keys for this game, his offense has to stay on the field, convert on third down. They're 0 for 3 today. Their special teams have got to contain Javier Arenas, and they've got to win the turnover battle. They're down 1 in the turnover battle as well. So far as Houston Nutt's keys go, they're not staying on track.
Ingram tried the left side, brought down by a host of red jerseys. A pickup of 2, second down 8 as we run up on a minute to play in this opening quarter.
And why is it so important to take and convert on third down and keep Alabama off the field? Everybody we talked to in Ole Miss's offensive side of the ball told us the same thing. They've got to keep Alabama off the field because this is an offense that will wear you down as the game goes along. It's playing right into their hands, these 3 and outs. Ole Miss is going to have a long day unless they can find a way to keep their defense fresh.
2 wide receivers set. McCoy, bottom of your screen. McElroy looks, throws in traffic. That was a dangerous pass. Incomplete. Ingram, the intended receiver.
It sure was. I thought he was throwing that ball away, but he actually was trying to squeeze it in there, it looked like. Good coverage by the Ole Miss defense.
McElroy takes a look to the sideline and runs back into the huddle. Oh, emotion in the house today. Over 60,000 in Oxford.
All right, you got one of these third and long situations again. We've seen McElroy be very patient, dumping off to one of the backs. They convert third downs a lot of different ways.
Ole Miss shows blitz. They back off as McElroy from the shotgun. Pedals back. Good protection. Throws underneath. And the grab is made by Jones. And hugs that sideline. Another first down. They move the chains up to the 35-yard line. And Kendrick Lewis, the free safety, bumped him out. Jones, we mentioned he's not 100%, but his speed upfield is impressive.
Well, you want to see how much he likes getting physical. Watch this. Here he comes across the middle of the field. Now watch what he does. Instead of running out of bounds like most receivers, he says, oh, you want some? I'll give it right to you right now. And Kendrick Lewis is going to lose that battle more often than not coming up on the big boy on the outside. That's for sure. And Julio Jones, Kendrick, give respect and give a lot of credit to Kendrick right there. He's not going to back down.
That ends the first quarter here in Oxford. 3-0. Alabama will return after this message and a word from your local station. This Alabama, third ranked in the country with a 3-0 lead over the Rebels. Craig Bullerjack, Steve Berline, glad you're with us today on CBS. That first quarter, defensively for Ole Miss strong. They give up the 3, but offensively, not a first down and only 4 minutes on the football field.
Yeah, really bad offensively if you're an Ole Miss supporter. Not good at all. Jevin Snead does not look to have any rhythm whatsoever. They're not been able to run the football effectively. This game right now is playing right into Alabama's favor. This is the kind of game they want. They kind of impose their will as the game goes along. And Ole Miss better wake up offensively or this defense is not going to be able to hold up all day.
First down from the 34-yard line. Under center, McElroy now sets his feet, throws near sideline. And a nice catch on the dig route. Julio Jones making his presence felt. We talked about full speed ahead. Couldn't really plant, but Steve, I think the cut looks good.
Oh, not only is this guy big and strong, but look at the footwork right there. And you're right, Craig. The word from the Alabama coaching staff was that he's not quite 100% yet. Coming out of some of his cuts, his knee kind of buckles on him a little bit. Right there, did a great job selling the upfield vertical route and then snapping it back behind Cassius Vaughn, who's much smaller, you'd think much quicker, but Julio Jones showing you he can get quick when he has to.
A pickup of 14. Jones now 3 catches for 38 yards. A nice mix of pass and run off the left side.
And Jones only has 9 catches on the season coming into the game today. Now he's at 12, obviously. There's the graphic. Is he on the right track through 4 games? He's only 2 off of what his numbers were last year, but you know, you look at all the touchdowns were obviously a little bit different last year. He's coming off the injury, as we said, but man, last year he exploded throughout the second half of the season, ended up with 57 catches and really became a force in the SEC.
Second down and 5. Ingram takes a direct snap. Good read by the Rebel D. as they allow a 2-yard gain.
But I'll tell you what, Craig, watch, this should have been stuff for no gain. You see the power of Mark Ingram. This is Alabama's version of the Wildcat. The first hit is right there, Patrick Trahan, and then 2 or 3 more guys come to make the hit and finally bring him down. But watch how much is made. The first contact was in the backfield by Patrick Trahan. He still manages to pick up 2 to 3 yards, and now Alabama again is right where they want to be. 3rd and 2 to 3 yards. Look at the time of possession. 12 minutes and 49 seconds, 27 plays for Alabama.
And less than 4 minutes for Ole Miss. A little delay. Here comes Ingram, lowers the pads. He does not hesitate. He's the hammer, Steve. And you're the nail. He likes to throw the hammer down.
Boy, he makes a decision. He makes a couple. What I'm sensing, what I'm seeing up here is when he hits, when he gets that first contact, he drives through it. He's got the leg drive to power through that initial first contact. I have no doubt. Hey, I guess I do have doubt. I was going to say I have no doubt that Nick Saban, with the way his defense is playing right now, will go for this one on 4th and less than a yard.
We saw a trick play in the opening quarter.
Yeah, I just can't see a second fake punt in the first half, but I'm surprised. But then again, he feels pretty good about backing a team up and making Ole Miss drive the length of the field, I think.
High hanger, Marche Green. That ball takes a high bounce and into the end zone. Good punt coverage. It hits at the 3. Ole Miss at the 20 when we come back. 33-32 the final.
Well, Craig, I bet you Nick Saban is burning up inside that last play of the punt. We were talking about how it would have been a good situation maybe to go for it on 4th down. Nick Saban says, you know what, I'm going to pin these guys back in their own end zone. And his punter punts the ball into the end zone. P.J. Fitzgerald, I guarantee you, does not want to get anywhere near Nick Saban right now because that ends up being a 20-yard net punt. That's not what Nick Saban wanted.
Snead, Center rolls, throws, caught at the 32. Jay Hodge, the senior from Morton, Mississippi. And Steve, we look back, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
Yep, 3 and out all 3 times so far. 1 interception, obviously, the first drive. But right there, the first down of the day. And Jevin Snead, boy, he needed that. Shea Hodge, he went to his go-to guy. Shea Hodge had 122 yards receiving last week against Vanderbilt. These two need to start making some plays.
They had a career-high 8 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Ole Miss will try the ground, and no turn of the corner. Cordera Eason, number 25, hunted down, and a loss of at least 4 back to the 30-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if Jevin Snead is going to make his living doing what he does right here. Watch what he does after he hands the ball off. He takes on a big defensive end. Right there, it goes down and cuts him. Ooh, good block by the quarterback. But I'll tell you what, if he starts doing that a couple of times, he's going to start getting there. You guys are going to start looking for him. He's going to feel that. But did you see the pursuit, Craig, of that Alabama defense?
Or the guys in white. They allowed just 64 yards a ball game on the ground. It will be a long day for Bolden and Eason and company. In motion, the tight end is Harris. Draw, nothing doing. And thrown down with an attitude is Bolden by the middle linebacker, Rolando McClain.
Well, you're going to see Rolando McClain. He's a perennial All-American. You see right here, he's going to shoot the gap. Perfectly timed blitz by Corey Reamer, number 13, and Rolando McClain. Rolando McClain had 4.5 tackles for loss coming into this game. This is a team that finds a way to get into the backfield and shut down teams. I mean, look, we talked about, Ken Austin said the most important thing for his offense is to stay out of 3rd and long. What do we got here? 3rd and 19.
Clock under 10.5 minutes to play in the half. Shotgun again is Snead. 3rd down and long. They'll throw the deep ball in double coverage. Nearly intercepted. And the intended receiver was Hodge. Snead, no question, has an arm.
Oh, he's got the arm. It's frustrating. 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18, whatever that was right there. He's trying to make a play, but I don't like the decision. You saw running down the middle of the field, he had a receiver. He threw that into double coverage. Right where Alabama wanted him to throw it. And sure, under pressure again, it makes it a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult when you got Courtney Upshaw and company coming to put pressure on you like that.
Campbell, the punter, with the kick. And the fair catch taken by Arenas at the 34-yard line. So Bama up by 3. back on offense. When we come back, the 40-yard punt.
I think they're right there is a man, Houston Nutt, a little bit more concerned about what's going on this football field right now. This game is not going the way he wants it to go, but I'll tell you, he's feeling pretty darn lucky. It's only 3-0 right now.
McElroy, the quarterback. Great play action. They throw near sideline. That's Mays, number 4, wrapped up and then reached out, got an extra yard at the 47-yard line. Marche Green, the left corner, with the tackle.
Alabama going no huddle now, trying to shake it up and establish their tempo. Good solid first down play action play for Alabama. Good read, good throw by Greg McElroy.
Flag. Out to the flat, Peak, his 3rd catch of the season to the 41, but a flag back around the 45-yard line.
One of the things that's difficult when you go this no huddle is making sure everybody's on the same page. It might have been an illegal formation.
Here's Tom Ritter.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Wait till you find out what Charlie's brother is doing to earn some extra money. That's Monday on a new 2.5 Men right here on CBS, America's most watched network. Well, you made that call. You've been in that position a few times.
I have, and it happens. You know, all of a sudden there's a little bit more urgency to get lined up, and somebody forgets whether they're off the ball or on the ball in that particular play. Frustrates a coach, though. Nick Saban and his staff. Good things happen. Just kill yourself with a penalty like that.
Good draw, Richardson. There's another two broken tackles. Look at the push on the pile. And again, it goes back to the fear of what Ole Miss talked about. Wrap up, make the stop. And Richardson powers his way for 5 extra yards.
Tyrone Nix was very clear. He said, we have got to tackle well to have a chance against this team. These guys are strong, physical running backs. And Trent Richardson, only a freshman. Look at the other freshmen in the SEC.
Boy, I like Richardson out of Pensacola, Florida. As a senior last year, ran for 26 touchdowns. How about a 9-yard average per carry?
That'll work.
Up and over the top, incomplete.
Good coverage by Ole Miss right there that time. Greg McElroy showing his patience, showing his wisdom beyond his experience. Making the right call, throwing that ball away. You know, this is the guy, by the way, his last 21 starts, you know what his record is? 21-0. He went 16-0 as a senior in high school down in Stevensville, Texas, and now 5-0 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Pretty impressive.
South Lake, Texas is home for McElroy. 3 of 8 on 3rd downs. Pressure. That ball is thrown out of bounds. And Ole Miss's defense is keeping the Rebels in this ball game. Marcus Tillman bringing the pressure on McElroy.
Yeah, Marcus Tillman, not the only one there, but good solid pressure. And you saw also Kentrell Lockett coming off the edge. He was right there to make the play as well.
You know, the biggest question, how will McElroy respond to pressure? You know, Kentrell Lockett told us the plan would be, let's hit this guy and really test him.
Let's see if he can handle it. That's exactly right.
High hanger by Fitzgerald. Green. Maybe 2 yards the hard way up to around the 7 or 8 yard line. A 41-yard punt and a 2-yard return. 8:32 to play in the opening half. Bama by 3.
All right, Ole Miss, let's go, Reds!
Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. Alabama up by 3.
Well, I'll tell you, Marche Green with the punt return on that last play, in my opinion, made a big mistake. Craig, you know, you got an offense that's struggling, and Houston Nutt told us one of his keys was to win the special teams battle. Well, that was a bad decision. One of the unwritten rules, or it's actually a written rule in college and pro. If that punt takes you inside the 10-yard line, you let it go. You got a good chance it's going to bounce in the end zone. Your offense gets the ball back at the 20. If you catch it inside the 10-yard line, you better do something special with that football, or you're going to get the wrath of your coaching staff. Now their offense is backed up in their own end zone. They've got, 92 yards to go for a touchdown.
8:32 on the first half clock. Shotgun is Sneed. throws it up over the top. And a catch to the 25, Shea Hodge. Did he lose it? Yes, he did. Alabama. Javier Arenas in on the tackle and then grabs the loose football.
This is the kind of stuff that kills you. Backed up. It was a rifle throw from Jevon Sneed right there, and you see Shea Hodge should make that play, but no, it drops right into Javier Arenas' arms. Shea Hodge has got to make that catch.
Here's my question. Is that a catch and a fumble, or is that a pick?
No. Shea Hodge never had control of that football. Shea Hodge, you know how you can tell for sure, Craig? Shea Hodge, I guarantee you, if Shea Hodge thought he caught that football, he would have got up arguing. He didn't get up arguing. He came off the field. He knew that ball, he never had control of that ball. It fell right into Javier Arenas' lap. A good, strong throw by Jevon Sneed out of his own end zone. Right on the money. It's called a back shoulder throw. That ball should be caught. You can see right there, no one has control of it. And then Javier Arenas is the one that has control when the play is finally dead. The ball never hits the ground. But Shea Hodge is a big-time receiver in the SEC. He's got to make that grab.
Well, did Arenas have possession as he goes down?
Oh, yeah, Arenas, the ball never hit the ground.
Now the play under review.
And we know what review means. If it's not obviously the wrong call, without a doubt, a mistake made, they will not overturn it. Houston Nutt is hoping, obviously, because this is where Alabama is so good.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. There was an interception.
So the second interception thrown by Sneed today. That's the third multi-interception game this season, and through only 2 multi-season or multi-interception games all of last year.
Yeah, he's not playing this year with the same level of consistency. And, you know, a lot of people are saying the loss of Michael Wallace to the NFL, graduating last year now with the Pittsburgh Steelers, is having an effect on that. But decision-making is what it comes back to.
7th interception. They go for the home run, and traffic incomplete. Double coverage. And McElroy took a shot. Marche Green.
Greg McElroy makes the right decision most of the time, but you're going to see right here, watch, right down the middle of the field where Greg McElroy should have thrown the ball. I don't think there's any doubt when you look at the film. Right there, right down the middle of the field, there's nobody there. Should have been a touchdown. That was Preston Dial running right down the middle of the field, uncovered, and he knew it, put his hands up in the air.
Clock at 8:18 to play, and now the officials step in and call the play dead. With a timeout call.
Timeout. Ole Miss. That is their first charge.
So Ole Miss burns and uses their first timeout of this first half. And we'll take a break. Bama up by 3. So 8:18 to play in the first half. And Steve, you got to wonder, how much more can you ask of Ole Miss's defense? I mean, they're good. In fact, they're number 2 in the SEC in scoring defense, less than 11 points a ball game. Number 4 in the SEC in yards against the run. But they've been on the field nearly 16 minutes of this first half.
And so far today, they've risen to the challenge, but it just can't happen all day long, especially when they're giving the ball deep in their territory.
McElroy under pressure, throws it across the middle. Richardson, the freshman, makes a move, picks up 8 inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Alan Walker, strong side backer with the tackle.
Mississippi, Ole Miss coming with the pressure off the right side. Good inside move. Good inside move by Emmanuel Stevens, but great presence by Greg McElroy to find Trent Richardson over the middle. Good accurate throw, picking up a good solid 9 yards on the play to give them a 3rd and 1 situation here.
Bama knocking on the door, 3rd down and 1. Under 8 to play in the second quarter. Under center is McElroy. Up and fancy, handoff Richardson. And again, slips and slides for 5. Jonathan Cornell, the middle linebacker, with the tackle.
No tricks here, Craig. Just off the left side behind Mike Johnson and James Carpenter, just power. And again, you see a chance to make a tackle at the line of scrimmage. You're going to see right there, this tackle has got to be made right there by Cassius Bond. It didn't happen.
You know, Richardson nearly ran out of the stop by Cornell. This kid, 220-pound freshman out of Pensacola. 9th first down of the half for Alabama. Again, the freshman. Rolls off a tackle inside the 10 of the 9, 3 yards. Walker with another stop for Ole Miss.
So you can already see kind of the wear and tear taking place on this Ole Miss defense. Thank goodness they have some depth in the front four. They can roll in some new fresh bodies, but it does take a toll. Alabama more than content to stay there and pound it 3 yards at a time on first and second down.
Second down 7. McElroy drops back towards a floater up high. That ball may have been tipped and knocked away in the end zone. And up with a hand was Kendrick Lewis. Batted that ball away.
Well, I'll tell you, I question again the decision by Greg McElroy. There were 3 guys there. Now I think Marquise Mays might have been out of position on that play, running his play right into it too. But watch Greg McElroy, his eyes right away were going to that right side looking for Julio Jones the whole time. That pulled the free safety, Kendrick Lewis, over there. Greg McElroy knows more about playing quarterback. He's got to hold that free safety if he wants to make that throw.
Play clock down to 2. They just get the snap away. McElroy in the pocket, flushed away. Has room to run. Chase from behind. Oh, he took a lick inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. Short of the first down. And there is a penalty marker down. Holding.
Well, personally, I think you got to decline the penalty. They're going to kick a field goal whether you take the penalty or not.
31. Holding number 8 offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Yeah, don't give them another chance to get the ball in the end zone. They can kick the field goal, but I'll tell you what, Greg McElroy, he's not going to last if he takes many more hits like this. Oh, man.
High and low.
Oh, my goodness. And they were kind of, you know what, those land sharks, when they see a quarterback running with the football, they are coming. They are trying to get a piece of the action, man.
That's blood in the water.
Oh.
Tiffin hit a 25-yarder in the first quarter. This will be from 21 yards, right hash mark, and it's up and good. And I would, Steve, it's no-brainer. That's a victory for the Ole Miss defense.
No doubt about it.
Six national titles. Could this be another title year for Alabama? The scoring drive, by the way, 7 plays, 22 yards, and Tiffin from 21 yards out.
Yes, we went to break. Craig, you pointed out that is a huge victory for the Ole Miss defense. I mean, Houston Nutt, if you would have told him everything that would have happened in this first half to this point, and that he'd only be down 6-0, he'd be doing backflips. He would be very, very happy about that.
Alabama with 175 yards of total offense. Ole Miss has come back with just 11.
Negative yards rushing.
Yes, they've had the ball less than 6 minutes in this half.
Unbelievable. They got to do something to keep this crowd into it. The fans are trying hard to get excited, but just not a lot of good happening yet.
Tiffin teed up at the 30-yard line. Angles it to the far side of the field. That's Jesse Grandy. He'll bring it out. 10. Makes a move. Stutter steps. Drop to the 11-yard line. I see a flag back at the 32. Here's Tom Ritter.
Well, when it rains, it pours.
It's been a downpour in the first half.
You get a return that only goes to the 11-yard line, which is pathetic, and then you got a penalty on top of that.
During the return, holding number 14 of the receiving team, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Monday on CBS, it's Couples Night on How I Met Your Mother. Neil Patrick Harris stars in a new episode. That's Monday on CBS, America's most watched network. Steve, you've been backed up, inside the 10, 5-yard line many times, but I don't know if you've ever been involved in a game where you've had the ball less than 6 minutes and, yards have been tough to come by. I would think this series here, with just under 6 minutes to play, has to be big, at least a confidence booster for Jevon Snead. It's going into halftime.
It's got to be. It's got to be. But they're starting in the worst possible scenario again. And right there, see now, Jevon Snead's a better quarterback than that. And you can just tell that right now he doesn't have the confidence that he has to have, that he should have, that he normally does have. We spoke with him. He's a confident kid. He's got all the tools. But that's a throw as easy as it gets. And when Ken Austin makes that call, the play comes up perfectly. He says, okay, my man's going to put this ball on the money. He's going to take it outside. We might even get a first down on that play, get out of the end zone. Now they're looking at 2nd and 10, and you're playing again right into Alabama's hands. Now, you're going to see blitzing. Who knows what you're going to see now from this defense.
Shotgun is Snead. Little delayed draw, lost it. Got it back at the 7. Let's go back to New York. Here's Tim Brando.
All right, fellas, Sam Bradford is playing today. He's 10 of 17 for 177 yards, but here's Chris Brown with his 2nd touchdown rushing. Baylor has 0-18 all-time against the Oklahoma Sooners. Let's get you back now to where they redshirt Miss Americas, Oxford, Mississippi. Gentlemen.
They sure do. They sure do here in Oxford.
This is dangerous right here, Craig, and I'd love to see Ken Austin. I think he will show confidence in Jevon Snead, but he's got to make a good decision and a good throw.
High snap, pedals back into his own end zone, rushes out, throws, and that one's up off the hands of McCluster, who so far in this game has not been a factor. And he's a man that needs the football in his hands with open space.
I mean, look at this. 11 total yards right now. Interception, punt, interception, and now we're going to see another punt. And I made a mistake. They've gained 2 yards on this drive, so it's actually 13 yards they've gained now.
13 yards in this first half. Arena set at midfield, got a hand up on it, taking it to 5.
You could see it coming.
Yep, you called it.
You could see it coming off the right side of Ole Miss's punt formation. There was an overload, and never had a chance. Tyler Campbell never had a chance. You're going to see the pressure coming off of the punter's right side, right over here, and up the middle, too. They had pressure coming from everywhere. I don't understand exactly what happened there. Houston Nutt emphasizing to us the special teams are such a huge factor. There were 3 guys that were not even touched on that play.
Second block of the season off the foot of Campbell.
Corey Reamer's the one that got the hand on it, number 13, the senior. He was a special teams and defensive player of the week last year for Alabama.
This will be a direct snap to Ingram. The Wildcat of Bama stacked up, and again, Ole Miss. They bend but don't break. Johnny Brown put the helmet on Ingram.
I'll tell you, cannot say enough about this defense, how they stepped up today. Watch Johnny Brown, number 20, just stand him up right there. Had good support, good help on the tackle from Alan Walker. But you know what? You can't coach this. You can't coach effort and heart and passion when everything is going against you. Your offense is letting you down. For these guys to get out there and keep rallying to the occasion, pretty darn impressive if they can do it again here.
They've held Alabama to just 2 field goals. They've been in trouble all afternoon. 2 interceptions thrown by Jevon Snead. Now they block punt. McElroy to the end zone. Incomplete. Julio Jones looked like he jumped off a trampoline, but in traffic. And again, Ole Miss holds.
Well, I don't mind giving Julio Jones a chance to make this play again. Ole Miss knew that ball was coming to him. They had him doubled. But Greg McElroy made a good throw. Greg gave him a chance to go up and make that play. Sometimes you got to do that. Put it up where either your man's going to make the catch or nobody is. And Julio Jones almost pulled that down. Tremendous play, though, by Cassius Vaughn and Kendrick Lewis getting that ball out of there.
Third down, crowd behind Ole Miss. Pressure is on, over the top. Thrown out of bounds. 4th down, Alabama.
And Kentrell Lockett came through and just, I'll tell you what, this guy, you meet with him. We met with him on Thursday. He was so excited to play this game. He's done it all year. He's got 3 sacks. He finds a way to get it done. He doesn't predetermine his moves. He just makes them as the game goes. And I'll tell you, that pressure right there did not let Greg McElroy set his feet and make the throw to an open receiver in the end zone.
Tiffin will try a 22-yard field goal. That ball is up, and once again good. So Tiffin, 3 field goals of 25, 21, and 22. 9-0, Alabama. (9-0) Alabama. 4 plays. They win a yard. A minute off the clock, and another field goal by Tiffin. This time, 22 yards. Steve, I got to ask you, how many times can you ask Ole Miss, their defense, to stand up inside that 10-yard line?
Well, I think they've already been asked too much. They've already been asked too many times today. But in there, I mean, you cannot say enough about the heart that they're playing with. Obviously, they understand the significance of this game and how this game is going to determine their senior seasons.
Good kick. Grandy makes a move. Still on the feet. Cuts back at the 24-yard line. You know, defense, we talk about Ole Miss. We talk about defense for Alabama also in this first half.
That's almost a given. The game started with them making a play. The first throw Jevin Sneed made was intercepted right there. And then, boy, they got the right defense called. These guys executed so well. They make hits. They pursue to the football. And then we'll see in the second interception, they go get the football. They make it happen. Houston Nutt told us going in this game, he said, when the ball is in the air, if there's any doubt about who's got it, you can almost bet your hat every single time the Alabama guy's going to come down with it.
13 yards of offense in the first half for Ole Miss. Sneed under center. Handoff, they're going to go to McCluster. And the 170-pounder from Largo, Florida, took a hit from Marcel Darius, number 57.
Wow, what a play that was. Marcel Darius like shot out of a cannon on that left side. And Dexter McCluster told us in our meeting on Thursday that he loves lining up in the backfield. He looks at himself as a true tailback. He's got so many talents. They spread him out, use him in different ways. But right there, that's one carry I think he wishes he didn't have.
Second down at 10. Clock rolling up on 3 minutes of play in the half. Sneed throws. And a one-hopper and a few boos. That ball was intended for Lionel Bro. Today, look at the Ole Miss offense. -1 rush yards, 1 first down, 2 turnovers, and just over 7 minutes of possession.
Oh. But they're still in the ball game, and that is what Houston Nutt's going to be preaching to this team at halftime. Hey guys, as bad as it is, we're only down 9 points. All right, we can come back and win this game. Let's play our type of football. He's got to get that man right there, though, Jevin Sneed, believing he can get it done.
Great point. 0-5 on third down conversions. Third down at 10. Sneed sideline and through the hands of Pat Patterson, the freshman out of Macon, Mississippi. Marquise Johnson, the cover man. Well, one thing Sneed needs a little help. That ball's catchable.
Well, it's catchable, but it was great coverage by Marquise Johnson, too. I mean, if you're banking on those plays being made every time to get a first down, it's not going to happen that much. That's a 50-50 proposition at best.
Arenas is set to return. Campbell back inside his own 10-yard line. Line drive. Takes a bounce at the 45. Picked up. Arenas wrapped up at the 39. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Jim Brando, Spencer Tillman, and Archie Manning will have scores and highlights, and they'll preview tonight's clash between #1 ranked Florida against #4 LSU. Stay tuned. That's coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. Well, what a day on CBS. You get #3 Alabama, 16th ranked Mississippi. Later tonight, #1 the Gators, and the Tigers of LSU, #4.
It just does not get any better. And look at this ball control Alabama, 19 minutes, 41, over twice as many plays. But I mean, Nick Saban has got to be extremely disappointed with where he's sitting right now. I mean, he's happy to be sitting on the right side of a 9-0 score, but he's thinking this game should be put away already.
Handoff, right side, Ingram to the 46-yard line. Emmanuel Stevens, senior out of Houston, with the tackle. Clock runs 2:35 to play.
Now this is the situation, Craig, where you've obviously had trouble in the red zone against Ole Miss. So if I'm the offensive coordinator, if I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about what I need to do, if I'm Jim McElwain, I'm going to find a way to get the ball in the end zone from middle of the field. Let's make a big play.
Ingram past midfield, knocked out at the 46-yard line.
Two good solid runs to start off this series for Alabama. You see Mark Ingram right there. He gets that. You give him that kind of a cut, that kind of an opportunity to get up into the line, good things are going to happen for Alabama. But again, to make my point, I think Alabama needs to take a shot here and try and score on a big play.
McElroy sidearms it. It's caught in traffic. Ingram and stacked up at the 44-yard line. A pickup of 1.
Completed to number 22, Mark Ingram. On the stop for the Rebels, number 86, Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy in on the tackle. Well, 2 turnovers by Ole Miss. Block punt. Ole Miss just kind of has hurt themselves, and Alabama taking advantage. And they like to have you do that, Steve Berline. A lot of teams, you know what, they go along methodically playing the game of football, and then you make the mistake and they make you pay.
That is the mentality Nick Saban has. I mean, his players are so well coached and so confident in what they do, and Greg McElroy offensively does not force the football very often. When they get the chance, when you make a mistake, they're going to pounce on you every single time.
Tyrone Nix, the defensive coordinator, fresh legs up front now on that offense or that defensive line. It will toss out to Peak to tie it in.
Greg McElroy.
And they're going to count that ball complete. Just outside the 35-yard line. Looks to be just shy of the first down.
You know, one of the things I think is causing problems is watch Greg McElroy. He has not really been able to set his feet today. Watch how he's kind of falling backwards. See that? He's throwing off that back foot. And that's what Kendrell Lockett was telling us. If they can get him to where he's thinking about the pass rush, they have not hit him that much today. They've hit him a few times, but for some reason, he's sensing something and he's not really setting his back foot. We're going to get a 4th down, go for it here for Alabama.
1-for-1 today, pitch. Here comes Ingram. Turns it corner. Can you say goodbye? Touchdown, Alabama. The big play you spoke of, and Ingram burns Ole Miss.
That's exactly right. Now, I didn't think it would come in that form, but that's what I was talking about. Find a way to strike from somewhere other than the red zone, and Mark Ingram obliges. That was an unbalanced line. They had overloaded that left side. They got lined up quickly. Ole Miss did not react and adjust properly, in a huge hole for Mark Ingram.
7th touchdown rushing by Mark Ingram. The extra point by Tiffin is good.
Now Mark Ingram excited for good reason. You see there's just not enough red shirts over there. Alabama came up and lined up quickly in the unbalanced left formation, and a quick toss, and there was a huge seam for Mark Ingram.
Ingram, 14 carries, 89 yards. Bama by 16. Ingram, 36 yards. 6 plays, 61 yards, and 1:48 off the clock. Bama by 16.
Look at this formation, Craig. There's only 2 guys on the right side of the formation. Everybody else is lined up over here, and you're going to see the hole open up. Woo! Right there for Mark Ingram. It's going to be a huge play. And Ole Miss, you see him right there trying to adjust. What should they have done there? I don't know, Craig. What do you think? Timeout. Take a timeout. Instead of running over there and trying to scramble and get everybody lined up. That's a huge play in the ball game. They have enough senior. They've got 8 returning starters on this defense for Ole Miss. That's a situation where one of those guys should have stepped up and said, hey, it's 4th and 1. There's less than a minute left in the half. I got to take a timeout here.
Tiffin. Good kick. Back of the 1 is Grandy. At the 20, breaks the tackle, 25. Still on his feet up to the 32-yard line.
Jesse Grandy.
Well, Thursday on Survivor, torrential rains hit the island and nerves are frayed. Can tri-mates pull together? All new Survivor Thursday, only on CBS. Kind of feel like that's the promo here in Oxford. Can Ole Miss, their nerves are frayed.
Oh, man.
Can they pull together?
That last touchdown made Houston Nutt's job a lot more difficult in the second half. If they're down 9-0, getting them to believe that they can get right back in the ball game with a couple of good drives, that's one thing. But now they're 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions away from getting back to even. Still a 2-score ball game, but boy, you got to have a lot of good things happen to make it work.
McCluster gets the ball for 2 yards. It'd be interesting. He had a lot of emotion before the start of this game in that pregame speech. I wonder his demeanor. What demeanor will he have in the locker room?
Well, it shows right now what the mentality is. They're huddling up. They got decent field position off that kickoff, and you'd think if they were confident in what they were doing, they'd be more aggressive. But right now, they're just content to run the clock out and get back in the locker room and regroup.
McCluster right up the middle, and he'll push the pile.
Number 22.
And that's going to end the first half. Frustrating first half on the offensive end for Ole Miss. They played some tough defense. Bama with the 16-point lead as we go to the locker room. Number 3 against number 16. Let's go to Tim Brando in our New York studio. Timmy. Just a moment away from the start of the third quarter here in Oxford and Alabama. Third ranked in the country with a 16-0 lead on Ole Miss. Craig Bullerjack, Steve Berline, glad you're with us at halftime here. And Steve, you talk about Bama's defense, near perfect. They allowed Ole Miss just 19 yards of total offense in the first 2 quarters.
Well, I don't know what perfect is if that first half wasn't perfect for the Alabama defense. It could not have gone better. They have literally sucked all the wind out of this Ole Miss offensive football team, which, by the way, is a pretty good offensive football team. You saw LaRon McClain making a play in the backfield. You see plays all over the field. Look at the white shirts getting to the football. Man, that hurts just watching it. But these guys have come to play football. And Jevin Sneed, I'll tell you what, he better wake up this second half because his team is counting on him. He's taking a lot of hits, but he's not protected the football. The first pass of the game was intercepted right there. Not his fault on the second interception, but Shea Hodge had a chance to make that play. But Jevin Sneed, to me, does not look like a quarterback who really believes in himself right now. And as we talked about, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody will. You got to start showing some life out there. Look at the stats in the first half. We can see.
Oh, it spells it, doesn't it? 14 carries for Ingram, 89 yards. He had that 36-yard touchdown. Sneed, 2 of 12, 14 yards and 2 interceptions. And as I mentioned, just 19 total yards of Ole Miss offense in the first half of play. Now, maybe the good point is that you come out of the locker room after listening to Houston Nutt, and because Alabama took the ball to open this football game, Ole Miss will be on the field to start the third quarter.
You know what? If you are Ole Miss, you've got to be grateful that this game is not out of reach right now. If I'm Jevin Sneed, I have got to get my teammates to believe, hey, we're going to take the ball down the field right now and score and make a ball game out of it, starting right now on this drive. But he's got to believe it for them to believe it.
Tiffin, the short kick taken at the 10-yard line. And Grandy stacked up at around the 28-yard line, and that's where Ole Miss will start. And Steve, we look at the SEC West. Some will say this could be, maybe is, the toughest in college football, the division, the SEC West, LSU, Bama, Auburn, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas.
Well, when you consider that.
And Auburn got knocked off today. Made a nice comeback late, not enough.
And the SEC West was 4-0 last week against the SEC East. That makes a pretty good case for it as well.
Bolden tries to jump over the front of Alabama and picks up 2 up to the 34-yard line. Let's see if we go back and show you what happened. You look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possessions.
Not a lot of good on that side of the call.
No.
That column right there.
Absolutely. 2 interceptions, 5 punts. They had the ball as we went to halftime. They open up the third quarter here, down by 16.
They just need to have a couple good things happen. One or two good plays, all of a sudden guys start believing again.
Snead, push that ball in traffic. Hodge, and this crowd finally has something to applaud about.
That's exactly right. Shea Hodge, good tight coverage there by Kareem Jackson, number 3, but you see Snead standing in there waiting, buying a little extra time. That ball just squeezes by Kareem Jackson's right arm, and Shea Hodge, good solid catch. They need that's one positive play right there. First down, second first down of the day for Ole Miss.
Around the corner comes McCluster. A pickup of 2 down to the 45-yard line. Woodall and McLean. Great pursuit. Bama impressive, Steve. The guys in white just go sideline to sideline.
I was just going to say the same thing, Craig. This deep, it looked like Dexter McCluster had the edge on that play. That they had a good play set up. He was going to get outside and maybe make 5 or 6 yards. But all of a sudden, you see the speed of that Alabama defense. Woodall came out of nowhere to make that tackle, but Rolando McClain was right behind him.
You know, McCluster, love talking to that young man. He told us, okay, I'm the smallest guy. I was the smallest guy growing up, but hey, I had the biggest heart. Still do. Ball's batted down, incomplete. That ball a little dangerous in traffic. Mark Barron, that is, the strong safety, knocking it down. White jerseys everywhere.
Yeah, this is a team, again, you know, we can't harp on it enough. If you want to execute against Alabama, you have to be precise. The routes have to be run at the right depth, at the right exact point. The ball has got to be delivered to the right spot exactly on time, or they're going to get a hand on the ball. It's just the way it is. There's no margin for error against a defense as well coached and as talented as this one.
Rebels have yet to convert on a third down. 0 for 6. Big play. Snead in traffic. Throws it away. Coverage play. Nothing downfield. And now a flag comes out. Roughing.
It could be roughing. It could be intentional grounding.
Intentional grounding.
I think
Number 4, offense.
Was he throwing at Nick Saban?
Explosive foul. 4th down.
But he was definitely outside of the tackle box, which, you know, it's debatable. You'll be able to see Jevon Snead really, he made a bad decision in my opinion, rolling to his left. There's really nothing over there except the two guys in white shirts. The referee's obviously not willing to let that slide for Jevon Snead.
Ole Miss now 0 for 7 on third down conversions. And again, Tyler Campbell called into punt, standing in his own 15-yard line. Low snap, gets the kick away. A beauty. That came out of a cannon. Wow. Takes a bounce at the 2 into the end zone. 71 yards. 71. Bama will have it at their 20 when we come back. (16-0) Alabama, third ranked over 16th ranked Ole Miss, and time now for our Aflac trivia question. How many Heisman Trophy winners have Alabama and Ole Miss had?
That's a good question.
Think about it. We'll have the answer coming up in just a moment. You look at Greg McElroy Jr. from Southlake, Texas, as he gets set for his first offensive series of this second half from the shotgun. Play action. Rolls to his right, throws it up top and out of bounds. Second down. Let's go to Tim Brando in New York for this Heisman Watch presented by Nissan.
All right, Craig, Tim Tebow has been medically cleared for tonight's game. Will he help the Gators stay undefeated and keep himself as the Heisman frontrunner? He's third in the nation in passing efficiency and is within one rushing touchdown of tying Herschel Walker's all-time SEC record. Last year's runner-up Colt McCoy is still in the hunt. He's second in the nation in pass completion percentage, leading the Longhorns to an undefeated record. Now let's get back to Craig and Steve in beautiful Oxford.
All right, thank you, Tim. As we look at second down for Alabama. Mr. Beeline, I got a question for you after this play. Handoff up the gut. And smashing his way through to the 26-yard line is Mark Ingram. All right, medically cleared to play. National championship on the line. Knicks, you got to think Urban Meyer with a tough decision to make. The stage is big tonight, but boy, you don't want to flirt with that young man's health, do you?
No, and this is the ultimate catch-22 here. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, but in my opinion, it's easy for me to sit back and say Tim Tebow should sit. I'm not the one that's coaching that team. I'm not the one that's going for the national championship. In my opinion, he should sit one more week, but I kind of doubt it's going to happen.
McElroy back to pass, throws a dart over the middle, incomplete. Colin Peak, the tight end, incomplete. That brings up 4th down for Alabama. Now the quarterbacks. We got Tebow and Brantley tonight. Jefferson. Well, look at the completion percentage.
Look at all that in there.
That's amazing. 73%, 65 for Tebow. And the bottom line, the worry you have if you're a Tebow fan and a Gator fan is Tebow's game is so much physical. He puts his head down and takes hits.
Exactly right. I mean, there's no quarterback that's ever run it like Tim Tebow does.
McCluster. Fair catch at the 32, a 41-yard punt. Ole Miss will have it when we come back. 51 to play, third quarter in Alabama with a 16-point lead on Ole Miss. Time now for Home Depot tools to victory.
The Home Depot tools are very simple. You make a mistake against Alabama, you pay the price. Right there, Jevin Snead under pressure, throws the interception, first pass of the day. Right here, Shea Hodge got a chance to make a play. He's got to make that catch. No. But Javier Arenas very happy to make the play and finish it off. Then right here, 3 guys unblocked on the punt. No chance to get that ball off. And Alabama, fortunately for Ole Miss, settled for field goals on all 3 of those. But then the backbreaker was a big play run by Mark Ingram right at the end of the first half.
First down, backside pressure, and Snead never saw it coming. Took a hard hit. Reamer coming strong.
Yeah, it just seems like Alabama keeps coming and coming. They give different looks. You cannot ever really get comfortable. They played multiple fronts, multiple blitzes. And there we look at Kirby Smart, the defensive coordinator for Alabama, doing just a masterful job.
Alabama has doubled the time of possession in this game. It's been rough and rugged from the start for Jevin Snead. Second down, 10, shotgun. Steps up, throws, wide open on the far side, and McCluster with open space picks up a first down at the 47-yard line.
Well, Dexter McCluster, who Ken Austin told us literally has the best hands on the team. This is a guy that was a running back in high school, but they're worried about using him as a pure running back because physically they're told that it would take on a small guy like that. But look at the great route, the great hands bringing it in. And I'll tell you what, this guy knows what to do when he gets the ball in his hands. There he is in the wild rebel formation.
Lowers his pads to the 49, stacked up and dropped. Let's send you now to New York for the John Hancock back in 2005, 4 seasons ago. On second down, shotgun again as Snead runs out of trouble. Now tucks and runs at the 50, 45, 40. And Snead brings his crowd to their feet. First and 10 at the 36-yard line. A 15-yard run by Jevin Snead.
And I'll tell you what, this is one of those plays that a quarterback makes that can get the whole team rejuvenated. You see the way he decided to tuck that ball and just run. He said, you know what, I'm going to do something myself right here to get this team going. He tucked it. He ran that football like a man. He didn't look for a place to slide like I always did. He decided to run and try and make something happen, and he sure did. Now,
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, let's see if he can build on it now.
Now, you were known for that hook slide. Longest gain of the day for Ole Miss. Another hole off the left side. Bolden squeezes through. That door shut in a hurry, but not after a 4-yard gain at the 33. Bolden, 220-pound sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Well, you know what we're seeing here now? All of a sudden, we saw running game plays for Ole Miss being hit and tackled and finished in the backfield in the first half. Now, there's not big holes there, but they're making 2, 3, and 4 yards a pop, and that's allowing, right now, the Ole Miss Rebels to stay out of these third and long disastrous situations.
Bradley Sowell and Reed Neely, the left side, opening up a nice hole with Gerald's the center. And now a timeout on the field called by Ole Miss. Now this Ole Miss front line beginning to gel just a little bit. They need to gel in a hurry here in the second half. Timeout. We'll be back on CBS. Time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. How many Heisman Trophy winners have Alabama and Ole Miss had? A little trickery today? And the answer is 0.
0.
That's amazing, the number of players, great players that have come through both programs.
Well, you just think of Alabama. Think of all the great quarterbacks that have come through Alabama.
Well, they've had some that have been in the mix, indeed. Of course, you look at the Mannings. Archie, third back in 1970. His son, Eli, got an amazing third place as well back in 03.
There has been no shortage of great players out of either one of these programs. Ole Miss now, their first real drive of the day.
Summers, the man in motion, swinging out to the flat, wide open, big yards. Bolden at the 20, high hurdles to the 20. Call that the 17-yard line. Superman flying high.
Well, can you see all of a sudden the energy in this football team? It takes a couple plays to get guys going. Look at this hurdle. Wow. Oh, he's regretting it right now. I'll tell you what, but that's the kind of play that rallies your team. This is an offense that now all of a sudden is playing with some purpose.
Steve, 2 plays on this drive. Snead's run and Bolden electrifying not only Ole Miss with his hometown crowd. Back to the ground goes the Rebels, breaking tackles. Davis inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Enrique Davis, a sophomore from Lynn Haven, Florida.
And all of a sudden they've got a little swagger going. You can see the right side of this offensive line doing a good job. You had big number 71 left guard Reed Neely pulling around the edge, lead blocking, but right there Enrique Davis breaking a tackle, which today may be the first time we've seen a broken tackle by an Ole Miss player.
Injured player Dave Rungerald, the center for Ole Miss, will step aside. The Rebels on the move. We'll be back. Gerald's able to get off the field on his own. Mark Zanlouis, the senior from Palm Beach, Florida, number 65, has checked in at center. Gerald's mentioned to the bench, I'm okay. You have to come off the field for a play. We'll see if he jumps back in.
Second down.
Current drive for Ole Miss started on their own 33-yard line. Steve Berline, 7 plays, 58 yards, 3 minutes off the clock. And they're knocking on the door just inside the 10-yard line. Snead goes, main coverage up top. Caught but out of bounds. He went to Shea Hodge.
I really don't like the design of that play, and I'm going to tell you why. You're on the 9-yard line right now, and you make a big, hard play-action fake to the right side, but when you're that close to the end zone, you've got to get a fade route to your receiver up quickly. And to get caught up in making a fake to the right side and turn back and find him on the left side, it just takes too much time. That ball's got to be up before the defensive back knows the ball is up in the air.
Gerald's the center back in after missing the one play. Quarterback keeper. And Snead able to keep his balance and pick up a couple to the 7.
Well, it would have been great if he could have kept those feet. He wanted to. He just got a little bit tripped up, but he could have gotten pretty close to the end zone, I think, on that play.
Well, Houston Nutt is going to send in the field goal unit. You surprised, down 16? Clock running up on 8 minutes to play in the third.
Yeah, because it's still a 2-score game. You know, this doesn't do you any good, really. You still got to score 2 times. I mean, I understand there's a lot of time in the game still, but you got to take a chance, I think, in the situation.
25-yard attempt by Joshua Sheen, and points on the board for Ole Miss. 7:49 to play, third quarter. Bama by 13. This past May, a convoy of football coaches trekked to the Middle East.
So glad you're consistent.
Ole Miss head coach Houston Nutt joined 5 other coaches on a mission of goodwill, bringing a break from the ordinary and much-needed relief to the lives of 20,000 troops. It was not only a cherished experience for our men and women serving overseas, but for the coaches as well.
The mission for us was to go and lift our troops. And to see the faces of these young men that lay it on the line for us every day it means so much to us.
Steve, I tell you, Coach Nutt told us it changed his life forever, that visit to Iraq. Ole Miss finally on the board, 10 plays, 60 yards, 4 minutes off the clock. Machine with a 25-yard field goal.
Coach Nutt told us that he used the lessons and the meaning from this, what he got out of that experience over there in Iraq as a motivator for his team. He still uses it today, telling his players, you know, you never know what's out there for you, what the future holds. Seize the moment. Get after these guys and understand how lucky you are to be where you're at.
Arenas, room, 30, 35, hits the edge, flag is down. Arenas driven down at the 40, call it the 39-yard line, but hold on. Flag back at the 34. I think that expression tells you it's coming back from Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Holding the call. Arenas, one of the most dangerous kick men in the country.
I don't know any more dangerous, I'll tell you that. The guy is within 230 yards of Wes Welker's all-time NCAA record in punt returns.
See, that's a big flag. Instead of 1st and 10 at the 35 of Ole Miss, you go back and start this drive at your own 20-yard line.
Yeah, that's a huge turnaround. Big mistake by Alabama, and the kind of mistake that Ole Miss now needs to capitalize on. This defense, which stepped up all first half, the whole first half. Let's see if they've still got any gas left in the tank.
Bootleg comes to the near side as Mays makes the catch and tackled at the 34-yard line. Let's go back to New York and check in with Tim. I like to see Arenas. I'd like to see Arenas do a little one-on-one with the man from Ohio State. First and 10 at the 34. Play action. McElroy. Pressure. Gets that ball away. A Wiggler nearly picked. Boy, Vaughn right there. And the pressure came from the left side. Emmanuel Stevens.
Well, you're going to see Emmanuel Stevens right here, just coming off the edge. They are really having a hard time blocking him. Now, right there, that was a huge mismatch. Colin Peak, he's a big tight end, but he's not a big tackle. And Emmanuel Stevens will chew him up all day long if you're going to have him blocking one-on-one. No doubt about it. Now, you had Preston Dial, number 85, the H-back, was there to help Colin Peak, but he was too slow getting over to help. Impossible to block him.
Ole Miss defense continues to make stand after stand. Second down and 10. 7 minutes to play, not much. As Ingram hits a pile and is hit down to the 35-yard line. Jarrell Poe with the tackle. Had 6 tackles last week against Vanderbilt. That's a career high. And now third down long. And this crowd senses a shift of momentum. They're on their feet. McElroy sidesteps pressure, runs out of the pocket. On his back foot, throws, incomplete. Darius Hanks, the intended receiver, and again, good coverage and good pressure. Armour, Lamarck Armour, number 94, coming strong on McElroy.
Another great series for the Ole Miss defense. They've done their job most of the day, with the exception of the one long run to Mark Ingram, which Tyrone Nix said the 2 priorities were to eliminate the explosive runs of Alabama, and number 2, take advantage of the opportunities that they have to make plays. That was the one mistake they made. They did pay the price. Other than that, they've played at a very high level all day.
Fitzgerald, McCluster lets it bounce, picks it up, 26. At the 40, quick as a whip. to the 42-yard line. Ball is out. Bama pointing, they've got it.
Uh-oh.
And McCluster is still down.
Let's look and see what happened here. Exciting to watch this kid when he gets the ball, no doubt about it. Now, ooh, geez.
Landed on that right shoulder.
Yeah, and neck. Let's see if we can see when the ball came out. That angle you couldn't really tell, but you definitely saw Corey Reamer come up with a football. It's out. It's out.
We have 2 personal fouls. One gives the receiving team, one gives this team. Offset. First down.
The penalties offset, and the first down, Alabama. One of the biggest concerns for Houston Nutt, the health of McCluster. He's 5'9", 170. They want him to touch the ball as much as possible, but the biggest concern is making sure this young guy stays healthy.
And do you remember what Kent Austin, offensive coordinator, told us? He said he is the one player we cannot afford to lose on this football team. And I'll tell you, the way he landed on that shoulder and neck and the way he's walking off the field, it looks like it's a shoulder, possibly a neck or a head that's causing the problems. Boy, that was an incredible play by Corey Reamer. I don't know if you saw that play, but the way that he ripped that ball out while making the very aggressive tackle was amazing.
Ingram, the play action, pressure.
I'll tell you what.
Lockett making that hit.
This defense is really impressing me. I mean, finished off right there by Jonathan Cornell. I mean, wow. There was pressure. It was the perfect time to call that play. Tyrone Nix doing an absolutely spectacular job calling plays for this defense, keeping this ball game reachable for the Ole Miss Rebels.
You know, Lockett nearly just pushed Ingram right into the lap of McElroy.
An amazing play.
A loss of 11, second and 21. Little slant into seam to Jones. He got out to a hot start in the opening quarter, and they go to him here with 5 minutes to play in the third.
Yeah, he's been kind of quiet lately. They've tried to hit him a few times on the fade route in the end zone. But right there, that was a little quick screen. Trying to pop him up the seam behind a few of his teammates, and very well played again by Mississippi.
Now let's see what Tyrone Nix, the defensive coordinator for Ole Miss, has up his sleeve. Big third down and 17. Under 5 minutes to play in the third. Alabama just one of their last 8 on third down conversion. Shotgun is McElroy. Good protection, throws a dart. Caught. Looks to be short at the 32. Marquise Mays came back, went on a knee to make the grab.
Well, you know, you look at how well Ole Miss has played, you can't question anything. Again, decent pressure right there coming from the outside. But a big lane for Gregory McElroy to make that throw. One-on-one, Marquise Mays goes down and makes a nice catch just short of the first down, but it looked like there was a little bit too much space underneath, in my opinion. They should have maybe, either you're going to come with an all-out blitz there and make them throw the ball quickly, or you drop everybody back into coverage. Don't give up a big lane like that.
Bama's got to hurry. Play clock to 1. They're going for it, and first down. Ingram bangs through the line.
And Nick Saban very happy with that result. But it was the third down play that made that play possible. You pick up 16 yards on 3rd and 17. That's better than you can hope for in most cases. And there you see Alabama's offense today. 115 yards rushing, 269 total yards. It's a struggle for them. This Ole Miss defense is very, very good.
First down from the 28. Ingram cuts it back up the middle, breaks one tackle, breaks another, has room, 10, 5, Ingram to the 3-yard line. What a powerful, quick runner is Mark Ingram.
Well, you know what happens, Craig, when all of a sudden you got a team backed up 3rd and long, you've been playing your heart out all day long. You've been stepping up, rising to the challenge. All of a sudden they make a big 3rd down play, and then they make it easily on 4th down. It just gives you that gut punch that you've been putting off, you've been holding off, you've been standing up to it all day long. But right now, all of a sudden, Alabama, they sense the kill, and they're starting to come at you, get more physical. Looks like they may be wearing down Ole Miss a little bit here.
140 yards last week against Kentucky. Ingram with 124. That ball is out and is picked up and covered up by McElroy.
Yeah, I think
that was in the hands.
That was in his hands, but I think the snap was had a little bit of steam on it. Kind of caught him off guard. It was in his face before he knew it.
2nd down and goal. Ball marked down to the 7. Shotgun, McElroy. Handoff. Here comes Ingram. And dropped down inside the 4-yard line at the 3.
Can Ole Miss stand up again in the red zone? I mean, we talked about it early. They'd only given up 4 touchdowns and 15 possessions in the red zone today. This is the 4th time they've had the ball in the red zone. The first 3 have resulted in field goals. Can they stand up again today? That would be one of the most impressive things I think I've ever seen out of a defense, to be able to stand up that many times during the course of the game against a team with the power and the physical nature of the running game and the offensive attack of Alabama.
Yeah, moments ago you saw Tyrone Nix, the D coordinator of Ole Miss. You can't ask for much more than he's gotten out of his players this afternoon.
Julio Jones right there.
3rd down and goal. And coverage up top, no. 4th down.
It's almost predictable what they're going to do in that situation.
Not a lot of air. McElroy's been unable to really just time that little man coverage pass over the top today.
Yeah, that has not been one of his strengths today. And he's given Julio Jones a couple of chances to make those catches, but I think he's had opportunities. If you're going to take that throw, go to Julio Jones' strength. That is up in the air. Let him go up and grab that thing where no one else can. At least you have a chance for it at that point.
And Tiffin tries for the 4th field goal of the day. This from 21 yards. And it splits the uprights. Tiffin from 21. And the lead, 19-3, Alabama.
Craig and Steve.
All right, Tim. So Tim Tebow is in the house at Death Valley. 9 plays, 36 yards. Tiffin, a 21-yard field goal. As you look at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, today's attendance, 62,657. That is a stadium record. And how about this, Steve? A record for a football game in the state of Mississippi.
Gotta love it. Although I'll tell you what, these fans, I think, were expecting the Rebels to put on a little bit better show than they had at this point. If I were Houston Nutt, I'd be giving the go signal right now. This would be a good time to start playing some football.
I would agree. You got a quarter plus a minute 12 remaining. Tiffin the kick. Angles it to the far side. It's Bolden at around the 10 opening. Oh, that ball is out! One official, 2 officials point Ole Miss's way, but playing with dynamite.
Oh, that would have been back-to-back fumbles on returns. Bolden right here running the ball very well, takes a big hit right there and just fights on through it, but the ball still squirts out.
You see how well coached?
It was Nico Johnson on the hit.
That's a freshman. He put the pad on him and then reached in.
And stripped it.
So a minute 3 to play, 3rd quarter. Back comes Ole Miss. Jevin Sneed in the shotgun at the 42-yard line. Good field position for the Rebels. They set up the bubble screen. Here comes Bolden, a lot of room. 50, 45, puts his pads down and is knocked out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Make sure you stay tuned tonight in prime time here on CBS. Number 1 ranked, the Gators of Florida taking on 4th ranked LSU. Death Valley. The Gators and the Tigers tonight on CBS. That was a 20-yard gain by Bolden.
And set up perfectly. That was the absolute perfect setup for the screen pass.
In the scene, right on the money is Summers. And all of a sudden, Ole Miss moving the ball. At the 25-yard line, move the chains, first down, 31 seconds to play in the quarter.
Now, Craig, I'm not one to second guess, but I do have opinions, and I really think that the decision that was made on the last Ole Miss drive to take the field goal was a mistake, because you still were down 2 scores. It doesn't really help you. You're down there. You don't know how many chances you're going to have to get back down there against Alabama. I think you got to go for the touchdown there, and then right here, you're going to make it a 1-score game.
Enrique Davis pushed back, no gain. Second down and 10. As we come up on the end of the third quarter. We played 3 in Oxford. Alabama leads Ole Miss 19-3. We'll return after this word from your local station. "15 minutes to play in Oxford, Mississippi. Alabama with a 16-point win, and aerial coverage of the SEC on CBS Sports is provided by DirecTV. Craig Bullerjack, Steve Berline. I would say the time is now. Ole Miss needs to find the end zone.
Well, they've found some rhythm.
Yeah.
We know that. They're playing much better the second half. And if they can find a way to punch this ball in the end zone, they'll definitely go for the 2-point conversion and make it an 8-point ball game if they can. But they've got to keep the momentum going. There's no time to mess around now. This is the time they've got to cash in. They're making some positive plays. They're not going to have many more chances. It's got to happen now.
With the pressure on Jevin Sneed, trying to get his ball club in the end zone as Houston Nutt paces the sideline. Second down and 10 from the 25-yard line. We start the fourth quarter from Oxford. Sneed. A tiny pass up top. That ball popped down. Had it. Dropped it, had it again, lost it. Bolden.
Craig, these are the kind of plays that if you want to win a football game, we saw a drop earlier that resulted in an interception by Shea Hodge. Right there, Brandon Bolden had a chance to make that play. He's got both hands on it, but wow, what a great job.
Yeah. Robbie Green
getting in there and just keeping him from getting that ball secured.
Punching away.
Yep.
Simple.
Yep. These guys obviously spend a lot of time on that because they are as good as anybody I've seen.
Ole Miss 0 for 8 on third down conversion.
Here they come.
Here comes Bama in the pocket. Sneed up top.
Got a flag.
There's contact and a flag at the 10. Marquise Johnson, Robbie Green involved on that collision around the 10-yard line. Tom Ritter and his crew busy today. Will get the call. The microphone was not on. I believe he said Javier Arenas with the pass interference. And don't forget, later in the game, we'll have the play of the game presented by Outback Steakhouse.
Well, Nick Saban, they decided to come with the house on that play. Nick Saban hoping to rile Jevin Stevens into making a bad decision or maybe getting him out of field goal range, although the 3 points really wouldn't hurt him too badly right there. But Jevin Sneed does a good job getting that ball off, and a lot of times, a good lesson for the quarterback. Put it up in the air under pressure like that, maybe you'll get the pass interference.
Sneed up top. And incomplete, through into double coverage. Pat Patterson, the intended receiver, and Kareem Jackson, the right corner, on the coverage.
Second and goal to go from the 10.
They've tried to hit that corner round a couple of times, but yet they've thrown into double coverage.
Yeah, and I don't fault the decision right there by Jevin Sneed. He's taking a chance, first down. It's obviously an aggressive play called by Ken Austin, but that's what's going to be the rest of the game here. You got to try and make plays. You got to give your playmakers a chance to make it happen. Here comes the blitz off the edge again by Alabama.
Low snap, Sneed tries to thread the needle, picked off. Jackson running room, 30, 40, Jackson 50, Jackson 40, Jackson at the 30, and knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
You know what that was, Craig? That was a defensive back who's done his homework. Kareem Jackson knew that play was coming. I mean, he ran that route better than Shea Hodge. And you know why it happened, Craig? It happened, and look at Houston Nutt. He knows that's it. If you look at the Vandy film from last week, 2 times, Jevon Sneed went to Shea Hodge on a slant route to that left side, and they scored touchdowns. In this very same situation, Kareem Jackson said, you know what? I've studied it. I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to take a risk here and make a play. And he sure enough did right there. He knew it was coming, made up his mind, committed to it, made a great play.
79-yard return, Alabama. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Oh, that ball is out. And new life for Ole Miss.
How about this Ole Miss defense?
Clawed away time after time. That was Jeremy McGee, the right corner. No quit for Ole Miss. (19-3) early here in the 4th quarter.
And you know who you have to give credit to, Craig? Of all the people, Jevon Sneed and Brandon Bolden for Ole Miss. They're the ones that ran down Kareem Jackson and made that tackle that did not give up the touchdown. All of a sudden, Ole Miss has the ball back.
And then Ole Miss defense answered again with the strip. Fresh life. Off the right side comes Bolden, knocked down. And Steve, it's amazing just how quick Alabama reacts on the defensive end of the ball.
Oh, incredibly impressive how they close. You know, one of the questions I had too, though, Trent Richardson, the freshman, was the ball carrier for Alabama on that fumble. And I question why Mark Ingram is not in there in that situation. Sure, Trent Richardson's going to be a heck of a player, but Mark Ingram, do you know how many fumbles he's had in his career? Zero at Alabama. Well over 200 carries without a fumble.
Second down and 6. McCluster is back in after being shaken up, number 22, and that's who Sneed goes to. You need money, you go to the bank. Dexter McCluster.
And I'll tell you what, Javier Arenas was right there. You see how the margin of error is so small against Alabama. That throw by Jevon Sneed was on time, on the money, but it had to be. Otherwise, it would have been going the other way again.
Now, you made the point earlier, though, if you're going to break down Alabama, you got to run the perfect route.
You really do.
You got to run it right.
And the ball has to be put in the right spot.
1st and 10. On the play action, rolling out, Sneed on his back foot, goes up top. I don't know what happened. That was a misread, but Shea Hodge just kind of pulled up on that throw. What's the most dangerous sport in the world? How about jumping off a cliff and flying like a bird? See you tomorrow on 60 Minutes.
Well, Craig, it really wasn't a misread or anything like that. Shea Hodge just quit on the route. That was a double move that they were trying to get Javier Arenas on, and Javier Arenas did not bite. Jevon Sneed still put the ball up out there. Shea Hodge is lucky that he didn't quit and that ball was not intercepted.
Second down and 10 as we roll up on 13 minutes left to play. 2-step drop, little dump down. That ball is out and in the hands. Is that McClain? What a strange game. McClain, that ball popped out. McClain, right place, right time.
That happened so quick, I don't even know what happened.
You blink, you miss it.
Unbelievable. I mean, how do these plays happen consistently, time and time again? Alabama had 4 turnovers last week right there. Just unfortunate for Jevon Sneed.
Markeith Summers, the intended receiver. Ball pops out. McClain keeps his feet.
I mean,
and there it is.
And that's what Houston Nutt was talking about. If the ball is in the air, if there's a chance for Alabama to make the play, 9 times out of 10, they make the play. They don't ever mess up when you give them an opportunity.
McClain is the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Week and that big game last week against Kentucky with 12 tackles and a pick. You know what he told us? Hey, I could have played better. I missed a tackle.
Exactly.
That's amazing to hear that from a junior out of Decatur, Alabama.
And that says a lot about the individual for sure.
I could have played better.
I mean, you got to be your own worst critic, but it also says a lot about how Nick Saban and his staff preach to these guys that you cannot ever be satisfied. You have to understand that to be the best, you cannot ever give up that striving for perfection.
Back and forth we go with the turnovers. Ingram lowers his pads past the 20-yard line, and or just a covey of rebels in on the tackle. You know, Nick Saban told us something I thought very interesting. He studies the psychology of this Generation X that he likes to talk about. So much coaching now, Steve. I don't know what it was like at Notre Dame, but trying to reach out to these top teams in the country. They have what is called a personal development center. And what these players are trying to learn is to learn balance of life and learn the mental side of winning. And I think, you know, right now Alabama's got a foot up because they seem to be tuned in.
I think every one of these teams is going to have one of those centers in there next year.
Justin Dow, the motion man, spinning for a couple of yards as Ingram past the 15. They'll mark him at the 14-yard line. Cornell made the initial hit for Ole Miss.
Fourth and 2. Again, the Ole Miss defense steps up, holding Alabama to a field goal attempt one more time.
See, they've been on the field over 30 minutes, nearly 31. Tiffin again will try the field goal. They'll mark it at the 31, officially a 31-yard attempt. From the far hash mark. Kick is away. And good from 31.
The field goal is good from 32 yards out.
Officially 32. 5 field goals for Tiffin. Bama leads 22-3. 3 Alabama. And again, another field goal by Tiffin, his 5th of the afternoon. A 31-yard boot. Steve Berline, turnovers, the story of this football game.
Houston Nutt told us that the winner of the turnover battle is probably going to win this game. And right here you see 1, 2. Going to be a total of 4 interceptions in this fumble by Dexter McCluster right there. Great play by Corey Reamer. But Kareem Jackson right here stepping in front of the slant route, taking it back. And then the last one right here, you had Marquise Summers falling down and popping the ball back up in the air. Rolando McClain making his 2nd interception in the last couple weeks, and Houston Nutt knows against a team like Alabama, you cannot get away with that stuff.
You know, Snead had 5 interceptions coming into this game. 4 today, as you mentioned. 9 on the season, and Bama has it teed up with 10:54 to play. Tiffin. That ball bounds into the end zone. Touchback Ole Miss at the 20-yard line. Tomorrow on CBS, it's all new, beginning with 60 Minutes. Followed by The Amazing Race, 3 Rivers, and Cold Case. Check it out only on CBS. Well, today's key players in this ball game: McElroy, 147 yards; Ingram, 135 yards on the ground. Snead is going to be remembered for the 4 picks, and McCluster today, 11 yards on the ground, 22 yards receiving. He'll take the snap from center as McCluster tries to turn the corner and wrestled out of bounds at the 24. Let's go back to New York. Here's Tim Brandon.
Well, I'll tell you what, that looks like an interception. Maybe only Timmy B could have made one play like that, huh?
Snead throws it out to the flat. It's Todd Holden down the sideline, bumped out where they push him out at the 31. And McClain in on that stop.
Well, if you're Alabama, you're more than content to just give up these little dinky little plays, you know, 3 or 4 yard run, a little dump pass like that to Bolden. Let them have those all day long. Obviously, you'd like to keep the ball in the field of play to keep that clock running, but the one thing Alabama is not going to do right now, they're not going to give up the big play.
First and 10 Snead settles back under pressure and threw that ball right on the shoe tops of Markeith Summers, incomplete.
Brandon Golden's pass intended for number 16, Markeith Summers, incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you, Terrence Cody, big Terrence Cody, coming right up the gut on that one. He let Jevon Snead know exactly how much he weighs.
I'll tell you, those arms look like bedposts. 6'5", 354.
Oh, he hit Jevon Snead and then, put every single one of his pounds on top of him.
Second down at 10. Bolden. Do a little hide. He was hide and sneak behind Snead. Snead gave him the ball and Bama right on top of it.
Well, you know, all that Ole Miss had accomplished when they came out in the second half and showed the signs of life, settled for the field goal their first drive down, and then they were driving to score on that last drive. I think Kareem Jackson's interception took all the wind out of the sails, and Kirby Smart, his defense rose to the occasion like they have all day long. This is an offense now that is not playing with that life they had the last few series.
Third down and 13, 0 for 8 on third down conversions. Two-step drop, tucks, here comes Snead. Still on his feet, makes another nice cut, upended at the 37 by Kareem Jackson.
Great block by Dexter McCluster at the end of this to give Jevon Snead the opportunity to make a few extra yards. Right there.
Steve, one thing I think you and I have learned from this game today, Snead struggled, yes, but Snead, pretty good runner coming out of the pocket.
He moves well. He moves well. He is the total package, if you ask me, in terms of what he offers physically.
Timeout, Ole Miss, 8:37 to play. Could be the ball game. Right here, you got to get the ball across the 41-yard line to keep this drive alive. You score, maybe you try an onside kick, but right now, Ole Miss has to move the football.
And Ole Miss can't go any further than this play right here, because you said it, if they don't make this fourth down conversion, you can almost start listening to the lady singing the song in the background.
Well, I've got a few folks walking out in the parking lot right now believing the lady is singing.
But if you can convert this and find a way to get down and score, you still got a chance.
In motion goes Lionel Bro. Shotgun, rolling out of Snead. Pressured, throws, caught at the 45, and Bro keeps Ole Miss breathing.
Number 21, Lionel Bro.
I'll tell you what, that was a big-time throw and catch. Bro, that ball behind him. Lionel Bro came back and made the catch, knowing he's going to get hit. But Jevon Snead, under pressure, he was about to get hit, rolling to his right, put enough on that ball to get it out there and complete it. Big-time play by both those two young men.
You know who that was? That's McLean, the middle linebacker, everywhere on this field. Inside, outside, sideline to sideline. Clock rolls up on 8 minutes to play. Shotgun is Snead. Quick throw. Incomplete at midfield and right on his back. McLean again bringing pressure, but it was Mark Barron, the strong safety. Broke up that play. Yeah. Second down.
McLean was breathing down Jevon Snead's neck. I'll tell you, the guy has got an unbelievable ability to get to the football, get to the quarterback. Whatever his job is, he's going to find a way to get there and make something happen.
Steve, you talked about the physical abilities of Jevon Snead. What's missing?
Well, you know, I don't know if you can say anything's missing. I mean, that's the question that needs to be answered. There's a lot more to playing quarterback than just the physical part of it.
They throw it back to Bolden. Rumbling room, 40-yard line, 30, 35, 30. High steps it to the 20.
Go back and do your research. Was Bolden a hurdler in high school? This
That's
guy,
the second big jump of the day.
And a very well-executed, well-designed screen pass right there, taking advantage of Alabama's pursuit. Alabama pursues so hard to the ball. They fake the screen to the right side, throw it back left, and then you get the big man rumbling down the sideline. Wow.
Ole Miss
in the air.
Ole Miss knocking again on the door. That was a 32-yard high hurdle. Boy, the big fella, 220 pounds, and he can jump. Ole Miss still going after it. Swinging out to the flat. That ball just out of the reach. Incomplete. Rodney Scott, the intended receiver. And now here's Tom Ritter. Delay of game. Play clock ran out.
But to go back to that Jevin Sneed, you know, there are so many things that go into being a successful quarterback every level you move up. There's the leadership, there's the decision making, there's the poise, the presence, the understanding, there's the uncoachable things, that the heart when you get down in a game. How do you rally your troops to come back in those situations?
Movement. John Jerry, the senior, just down the road from Batesville.
Dead ball, false start. 77 offense.
So instead of moving forward, they're moving back.
It's been a tough day for Jevin Sneed. You know, the hits have been coming all day long. It seems like he's had someone coming in his face. That was a goal of Alabama. Obviously, it always is the goal. And right there, the interception, the backbreaker interception, and then the last series, Rolando McClain making him pay one more time. Tough day.
Goes down at 20. Trying to find it over to Seymour and taken away. Boy, Hodge had it. Tried to bat it back to himself, and Woodall and Jackson riding his back.
There are very few throws against this Alabama defense that are not contested. I mean, really, the ball has got to be on the money, or it's going to get tipped up in the air and someone's going to come down with that football in the wrong color jersey. They are so good at challenging every ball that's in the air.
Sneed just 11 of 33 on the day. The 4 interceptions. That was nearly his fifth. From the shotgun, Sneed sets it up. I don't know who he's throwing it to, but it's incomplete. Incomplete now. Time now for our Red Lobster
20.
Scholar Athlete, presented by Red Lobster, and it's the Ole Miss Center. They've run Gerald's a 3.06 in mathematics. How about the SEC Fall Academic Honor Roll? Both 07, 08, 08, 09. Gerald's knocked around a little bit, but came back to play. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the Ole Miss General Scholarship Fund. Way to go, Mr. Gerald's. Sneed in trouble, throws. And again, Washington bringing pressure. And Sneed, there's a flag down, trying to plead his case. And they're going to pick it up.
And Lorenzo Washington came right up the pipe. This Ole Miss offensive line, you know, you watch them on film, they look like they're making progress, but they have not played a defense of this magnitude. And I think that the schemes and the blitzing and the physical ability of this Alabama defense has really exposed some areas of weakness, because Jevin Sneed and his defense has been getting hit all day long.
He's gone mostly nearly exclusively from the shotgun. He'll go again shotgun. There's the pressure. Side steps. Now decides to tuck and run. 30, 25 at the 20. Sneed with room and is chopped down. Great run again at the 15-yard line. And Javier Arenas with the tackle.
Craig, this is an example of what I'm talking about. There's only 3 guys. Look at this. There's 3 guys rushing right here. Now watch what happens right up the middle. No one even touches this. I mean, it's like it's a joke right there. That there's no way that was a scheme that Alabama came up with. That was just guys not doing their job.
Back to Craig and Steve in Oxford.
All right, thank you, Tim. Here in Oxford, Alabama 22 and Ole Miss 3. Make sure you stay tuned tonight. Prime time here on CBS. Florida and LSU, number 1 against number 4. Tim Tebow has been cleared to play. We shall see what that will what unfolds tonight in Death Valley.
Well, this
so
game
clear to play, but doesn't mean he'll play. We'll see what the coach, Urban Meyer, decides to do.
And this game today has shown the complete package that Alabama has. And that'll be a good test between those 2 teams to see who their number 1 competition is going to be coming out of that game tonight.
Boy, Ingram has been impressive today. Sophomore out of Flint, Michigan. What they try to do at Alabama is run Ingram. They've run Richardson today. Upchurch has been banged up a little bit. Terry Grant we haven't seen, but they usually go with the hot back. And I can't imagine anyone hotter than Mark Ingram.
Oh, no, I would say not.
The total package. Under 6 minutes to play here in Oxford. The center goes McElroy, again the ball carrier. Couple yards for Ingram. Let's see, let's go back and update those above the lines.
Well, I think you look at the Alabama offense, don't lose your balance. They've run the ball 33, they've passed it 35. That's pretty good balance. They've been in control of this game. They've been able, even though Ole Miss's defense has played extremely well, because of the way their offense has played, Alabama's been able to stay very balanced. And Ole Miss on defense, they have shown up on first down, I believe. Even though you look at the stat, it says they've averaged 4.7 yards per play. They have stepped up all day long and made life very difficult for the Alabama offense. This defense for Ole Miss has nothing to be ashamed about.
In motion, Preston Dial. Stretch it out to Ingram. Finds a hole, breaks the tackle. Strength, power to the 44.
And now we can see what this Alabama team thrives on. They get you down, they physically beat on you all game, and then they get physical. They get more physical at the end. And Ingram, he looks as fresh as he can possibly be. Running that ball, tucking it up in there, and carrying people on his back.
17-yard pickup. Ole Miss, Steve, have not helped themselves. The 5 turnovers. And Alabama just takes advantage time after time. Nothing fancy, it's just straight up knock you in the mouth football. Ingram back to New York.
Number
Here's
22.
For Steve Berline, what is Houston Nutt going to do to get Jevin Davis's head right? Back to you. Jevin Steve, beg your pardon.
Well, I think that's going to be a big project here this next week, Timmy. Jevin Sneed has got to be able to put this behind him, move on, understand guys have bad days, and this is one of the worst possible for him. But hey, there's a lot more football to be played this year. This team, this whole Ole Miss institution is counting on him to come back strong and shake it off, go out and play well the last part of the season.
Third down and 2. That picture tells a story of Sneed with the towel over his shoulder. You know, Timmy makes a great point. You got to get the head right, and that's going to be Houston Nutt's biggest chore of the week. Homecoming, Alabama, Birmingham comes to town. Now they've got Richardson in the backfield, the freshman. Ole Miss continues to pound it.
Number
Trying to
3
fill the
from
gap.
Richardson with the football.
Clock running up on 3 minutes to play. And that brings up 4th down and short. I know the score lopsided, but Steve, you got to salute Ole Miss defensively today.
You really do. I mean, we've talked about it all day long. I don't know how much more you can give credit to a defense that's losing in the ball game 22-3.
4th and 1.
But this is a defense that has fought its heart out all day long. They've been put in terrible positions from the very earliest stage of this game, and to keep it a ball game for as long as they did by standing up and holding Alabama to field goals 3 times in the first half and a couple of times in the second half when they've had the ball well into the red zone. Absolutely amazing.
It's on Nick Saban, wait for that clock to run, and calls timeout. We'll step aside, 2:28 to play. North, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. Understand, by the way, Eli will be a game-time decision. He's been battling with that plantar fasciitis. You ever had that problem in your day?
Number 22, Mark Ingram.
I never did.
Inflammation, by the way, of the soft tissue.
I don't even know if I can say that, but I've never had it. I know that, but I do know it's painful.
I think you would know if you did.
Yeah, I know people that have had it, and they've told me very clearly that it's painful.
46-yard line.
Eli is one tough guy. Those Mannings are all tough guys. If they can suit up, they're going to play.
Well, they are, let's just say, well respected in this part of the country.
Yeah, we are in their part of the country for sure.
McElroy goes under center as we hit the 2-minute mark. Boy, pad still popping. Richardson.
On the
Time now
carry,
for the play of the
number 3,
game.
Trent
Presented by
Richardson
Outback
from
Steakhouse.
Alabama.
This was a play that I think really was a nail in the coffin for Ole Miss. Jevin Snead trying to throw the slant route to Shea Hodge, and Kareem Jackson knew without a doubt that it was coming. Tremendous anticipation and return back. It really just took all the wind out of Jevin Snead and his teammates. That was their chance to close it to possibly a one-score game.
You just saw Snead. His numbers 11 of 35, 4 interceptions, 140 yards passing. To the ground, off the left side. And let's go back to New York. Here's Tim Brando.
All right, Craig, I want to take you to Baton Rouge in Death Valley. There's Superman without his cape. Now, he has been medically cleared, but it's still a game-time decision for Urban Meyer. Doing a lot of running around. It looks as though he may be able to go. He's got his feet underneath him. Number 1, Florida against LSU. By the way, Archie has been cleared for halftime of LSU, Florida. Back to you.
Oh, good to know Archie's ready to go. And I tell you, if you put black under the eyes, you going to play? That's what Tebow's got.
He's trying to make a statement that he's ready to play, I think.
40 seconds on the fourth quarter clock. Bama just going to run this game out. Crimson Tide, Steve, going to run their record of 6-0 on the season, 3-0 in the SEC West. And next week, it's the old ball coach, South Carolina, taking on Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yes, sir. It's the SEC. Every week's a big one. This right here for Nick Saban and his troops. So control of the SEC West established today.
6-0, 3-0 in the West, while Houston Nutt and Ole Miss will drop down to 3-2 and 1-2 in the SEC West. For Steve Berline, Craig Bullerjack, we say so long from Oxford with a final score. Alabama 22 and Ole Miss 3. Tonight at 8 Eastern, the Home Depot SEC continues. Number 1 ranked Florida takes on 4th ranked LSU. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the SEC Championship.